That was hot.
Yes, bitch, you better do.
Yo, renge kyo, my nigga.
Okay.
Namaste, my nigga.
I'ma stay my niggas. What is up?
All right, maybe we should come in humming.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. He finna get a miscongeniality moment going.
Yeah, shut the fuck.
Hold on, fuck him up, Stevie.
It's too much. It's probably too much in here.
I'm here for that. Listen, namaste, my niggas. What's up? I like that. Listen, I'm gonna say that every time I get on.
Okay. What you want to do?
Good.
Oh, namaste, my niggas. Okay, welcome to the unFEMiliar podcast. The unFEMiliar podcast. It's our very, very, very first trial draft episode. You know, union, whatever you want to call it. Welcome. I have a little bit of a plant here as well.
Yes, spider plants. Now, mine is actually quite small. I'm still rebuilding her, so I can't even bring her out right now. But I do have my little baby plant here that I just bought from the nursery. She's a plant mom. No real kids, thank God. I do have some plant children.
Also, do not have any real kids. So we're here in our robes. We're here with Stevie T,
Hello.
Tony Love, and myself, Nailert.
Absolutely.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Welcome. Yes, we're giving evening tequila, late nights, early morning.
Margaritas. A nightcap situation.
Like a little nightcap / Cinco de Mayo.
/ ghetto as shit. Let's not forget.
Exactly.
And I want to just be free, open, fun, opinionated, assertive, all the things I ain't supposed to be any other time. I want to be all those things here tonight.
Every time. You know, it's funny that you say that. All the things that I'm not supposed to be every time, because as, you know, African American people, we have to code switch when we get to work. And when we get into primarily white spaces. So it's a lot of the time, majority of the time, we can't be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we're at work and we're doing things where we have to kind of put on just a little bit differently for the people so they're not on edge or feeling, what's the word people use a lot? Intimidating.
Intimidated. That's a good one.
Lord.
That's an accurate one is what it is.
Okay. Not intimidated, honey.
Because the girls love to feel intimidated.
They love to be scared. Say they're scared. Figure and say you're just so scared.
Exactly.
No, that's very true. I think, we want to provide a safe space, which is kind of unfamiliar, if you will, like for people of our stature. So I just want to get into some ghetto gossip as well, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to keep it too zen. Like, let's keep it turned up, my nigga. All that shit. So I wanted to start it off with something that I saw online. Of course, I saw it on Instagram. I also saw it on Twitter. But there was a post from a Miss Alexis Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, and she was spilling this kind of raw, unfiltered IG post tea about how women you're not able to change a woman from a hoe to a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all heard the phrase, right? So with that being said, she's saying you can't turn a man into, or a cheater, a liar, community dick, you know, a broke nigga into a husband either. But we're supposed to. Or turn them into a king or whatever. So I wanted to kind of touch base on what's the right way to kind of move with this situation. Like, as far as, do you just live freely and say, fuck it, swing that punani in a circle? I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, listen, sometimes I feel like, and, you know, I like to You know what I mean? I like to keep it as real as I possibly can, right? But I am working on my delivery as an adult. For those of you that know me, you know my delivery was not ever the best. But we're working on it. But no, I mean, certain times I think women just try and bust it wide open. And that's just facts. Like sometimes. But men too, I feel like as well, they just want to bust it wide open. They don't really care about repercussions or any of those other things. But I think she has a point. Right? Because we are expected to take in these men, right? A lot of the time, women, especially women of color, more specifically Black women, are the fixers, right? We're the women that fix things, fix people, and not all men need to be fixed, so this isn't geared towards all men, right? However, I do think a lot of people think of us as fixers. You got to think about it. In the workplace, when things are just going in complete disarray, what do? You know what I'm saying? They calling on the Black woman to try to go and fix it. Men as well, you know what I'm saying? I think there are certain men who haven't really unpacked different areas of their, you know what I'm saying, my space. They haven't really unpacked any type of hurt. They haven't really unpacked any type of pain that happened before. So they go and they do what they do. They become hoes, or, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to commit, or however you want to call it. And I feel like women are Black women in specific are the healing space for that.
It's an interesting viewpoint. I think that
yeah, speak on it, Stevie, because
you're a man, Stevie, so you gotta tell us.
please.
Come on.
I will. So so you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. We all heard it said. And so she's saying that you can't turn community dick or basically a fuck nigga into
Liars
a king.
And cheaters, correct.
Right. Okay. So you can't turn anybody into anything, right? So that has to be within me to want to be those things, to elevate, to be better for the person that I'm with. Correct. With that being said, although that's true on both sides, women are expected to deal with me being community dick and me being a hoe and all the other stuff for you to basically treat like a king. And that part I think is absolute bullshit. However, that's the patriarchy, and that kind of just is what it is. I don't think that it should be that way though. But it depends on the nigga. It depends on the nigga that you end up dealing with. Like at the end of the day, are you settling if you decide that you want to be with somebody that you already know is community dick? And if that's the case, then you settled. That's what you went for. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Okay, go ahead, Tony.
No, I'm sorry. I get you, and I agree with you as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I saw a meme that said, you know what I'm saying, wasn't a meme, it was a tweet. And the woman said, please, it was a Black woman who tweeted this. She said, please stop measuring the strength of a Black woman by how much pain she can take.
Right. Because
it's basically mentally abusive. Like it's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Like you're measuring the strength of me by how much pain that can be inflicted on me, whether it's you or someone else. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, to your viewpoint, you're right. A lot of people feel like, hey, she can take it, she can do this, she can do that, and it's not really. That shouldn't be even a factor. If what I can take, how much you're doing out and about, you know what I'm saying, what I can deal with shouldn't even be a factor of how you treat me. But I also think, to the viewpoint of what you said, people have to want to change.
Right.
I want to introduce Drea into this, right? Because, Drea was thoughting and bopping for a minute. And this was a little bit of a topic. I watch reality trash TV because sometimes I just need that ratchet shit to get out of my own life. But that's hectic. And for a long time, they were basically telling her she was a hoe, and she couldn't reinvent herself. But we've seen Drea go from what she was known to be to who she is now. And she's basically reinvented herself because she wanted to. Just like you said, you have to want to change in order to be the change. So I don't think that men who are promiscuous in the past can't change to be better men. I absolutely think that they can.
Right.
But we can't change them to be better men. You know what I'm saying? They have to want to do that for themselves.
That's 100%. I think another big thing is maybe not giving a fuck what somebody wants from you. At the end of the day, there's a little something for everybody. And I think Black women a lot of the times are forced to kind of, like you said, we wanted to create a safe space where you don't have to put on a mask. And even with men, sometimes you have to do that, like put on a mask and not be attitudey or watch what you say or whatever the case, to not rub somebody the wrong way or push them away, be too strong or too whatever it is that they say women can be. Successful, strong, strong-minded women are gonna challenge you sometimes. That's not just a black girl thing. So I just think like kind of just being more free and not trying to mold yourself into what somebody wants. Like at the end of the day, somebody's gonna want exactly what you have to offer. So that's a big thing. Like, who cares if you're a hoe? No, you can't turn no hoe into a housewife, because if you think of her as a hoe, she ain't never gonna be your housewife at the end of the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you are a nigga that, like, yeah, she been around with whoever else she been around with, she with me now. That's a real nigga to me in my mind. That hoe into a housewife, I don't want to change no nigga from hustler or hood nigga to no husband. I want you to be a hood nigga husband if that's what I like. I like hood niggas, and you gonna be my hood nigga husband. Straight like that.
I want an old nigga that don't got no social media but a lot of motherfucking money, honey. Hello? Give me an old hustler that's out of the game, a lot of money and no social media, and that's my judge. I'm here.
Tony Love, you ought to think about getting on OnlyFans. I think you'll find your man right there. And you don't got to do too much. OnlyFans, you do what you want to do. You do what you want to do. You just have a following, a fan base.
OnlyFans tempts me every motherfucking day. You hear me? I'll be like, damn. If I started an OnlyFans just for my titties, I would make so much fucking money. Because women, men, straight men, gay women, everybody love titties. Everybody love them. So I'm like, damn, if I start an OnlyFans, maybe I could just cut my face out so people don't know.
I love titties.
See? Titties?
They're fun.
Everybody love titties.
I'm more of an ass man, but titties are fun.
Okay, well.
See? Always fun. I have a friend of mine who follows this OnlyFans model who's actually this is about to sound so bad. I'm sorry.
You said what so bad?
I said this is about to sound so bad, and I'm sorry. So let me just apologize now before y'all try to burn me in the comments. But I did not think that a lot of the OnlyFans. Oh, my titties out.
We're just pointing at them, girl. It's okay.
It's all right. They just want to come to the podcast too. It's okay. I did not. A lot of these OnlyFans models that he does follow are very intellectual beings, right? They're very smart Black women. One in particular, her name is Only Rhonda. I'm really obsessed with her. She's very, very smart. She's very smart, a woman. She's married, which I thought was great. Like, that's what she does for a living, is she basically shows her titties on OnlyFans. And she makes a hell of a fucking lot of money. The bitch got some big ass motherfucking titties, bigger than both of ours, bitch. She like a triple G.
Bigger than ours combined, or like what? What you trying to say here?
I think ours combined is one of hers. The bitch is like a triple J or some shit. Actually, where's my phone at? I'm about to go to her.
A triple J, you said.
I didn't even know they went up that high, bitch. I thought they stopped with my bra size, to be quite honest. They go up.
Because Black China also has a show on Zeus Network that is following the life of some people, some of the top OnlyFans people. And one of the women, she had I thought you had the biggest titties I ever seen too, Tony. I ain't even gonna lie. But she had the biggest natural titties I've ever seen on a Black woman that were pretty still. So with that being said, she's making cake. She's making about 15 to 19 racks a month, and that's before quarantine.
You know what? I saw that.
She's not even showing nipple. She ain't even showing the nipple, bitch. For 15 racks a month? Huh. Let me cover up. Y'all not paying a motherfucking thing.
Bitch, and you know what? I actually had to find her page, so I had to go to my friend's page to find her page, and I found it. So Only Rhonda, she's first of all, she's fucking beautiful. I do also, that is the fact. She has a very pretty face, which is amazing. But this bitch is on here caking. Do you hear me? She has a 36 double K.
I see them.
Only One Rhonda. That's her Instagram name.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Right? Also, me and Rhonda got a lot of the same bras, bitch. And when she did her Don't Rush challenge, I said, bitch, I got that bra too. Yes, sis, come on. But no, I fuck with her. I think she's dope. I actually ended up following her because of that. Not to look at her titties because I have my own, but just because I think she's a dope person. So
yeah, she's made a fucking business out of them titties. So
I'm here for it because it's smart. And you know what? When I saw that clip of Black China's show, I actually was like, damn, bitch, I might have to change my motherfucking I got to change what I do for a living because these bitches is caking. Stevie is like, yep.
okay, we have gotten Only One Rhonda a motherfucking new follower, a 2, because I'm following, and young
because I'm following too.
Young Stevie T.
Young Stevie T here is saying, you know what, fuck it. Okay, she done won me over. We did a few scrolls on the page.
Okay. Only Rhonda, we love you, sis.
Only One Rhonda, you ought to come sit down and chat with us. You're a little unfamiliar as well. You should get the people familiar with who you are. Okay. So I love it. I mean, she popping 166,000 followers. She not too unfamiliar. Let me correct myself. But however, that's what's up.
I salute her hustle. I salute what she's doing.
The app is lost. Please launch the app on your phone.
Hey, sorry about that. My Bluetooth is right here.
Connection to the app is lost.
Power off. I cut it off.
Okay.
It's our first one. It's fine.
First one. So, but back to just, what people are looking for and, whatever. I just think titties are in, ass is in.
Titties and ass.
Belly is in.
Titties and ass should be out.
What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, show it. The fuck?
Oh. Yes. Show them titties. Show them ass cheeks.
Absolutely. Definitely show the ass cheeks.
Therefore, I'm with you, Stevie. Thong bathing suits if summer opens, because I think it's closed right now.
Yes.
Open it up.
Open up summertime. We want to go outside and show our tits.
Oh. I'm with it.
Just show them. Shit.
Just show them, okay?
That's it. No, I think Alexis guy has a point, but I think also to that point, to what Stevie said, people have to want to change. We can't make anybody do something they don't want to do. So if that person wants to, change their lifestyle and settle down, and for one person, and you want to be the woman who decides, hey, what he did is in the past and I'm going to go move forward with him as such, so be it. I don't think you should be condemned for it. It's your decision. And, hopefully you know the person well enough to know that he's serious. Mm-hmm. But if not, sis, don't post a man because you can look like a clown in private and no one will. But,
all right, look, I saw a good topic online today. Without blaming the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, come on, glasses.
Without blaming the opposite sex, what's the reason why you single right now?
Bitch, I don't know. I'm amazing.
Nah, bitch, you gotta dig deeper than that. This unfamiliar. You gonna have to go ahead and pull it out that with some imagination in the Barney bag. We'll see what we can make today.
I can't.
Okay, turn up for me. I'm gonna tell you what it is with me. I must got testosterone in me or something. All right, I'm aggressive as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I can be very submissive, but you got to get me to that point. And people give up way quicker than it takes to get me to that point of submission. So that's my biggest
Why
problem.
they gotta work for it? Why don't you just give it up?
Ooh, I can give up
as
things.
far as just being submissive, like, you know what I'm saying? Why they gotta work for it? I
mean, you know what? When I give it up, I have given it up before, and it just hadn't worked for me. Now my guard is up. I'm giving up my guard to these niggas.
You know how long it took for that bitch to come down? So
people don't have that kind of stamina and that kind of endurance to be able to like go back and forth with you and fight with you until you get to finally submit, and we're gonna go and wrestle about shit until you finally.
We can fuck in the meantime.
I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about.
Some bitches want to just bust it open. It's okay.
I'm talking about forming a relationship. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Relationship is definitely.
You know why? It's if you want it to be something more than just fucking. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be willing to. Like I said, no one can change anybody else. So I don't even try. I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't even try. I'm gonna meet you where you are, baby. You know, you real strong. You too damn strong for me, all of that. We can fuck in the meantime. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going down to deal with somebody else that I can take from the beginning.
Let me correct myself before we move on.
Go ahead.
I want to say this. I will show vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm met with anything besides what I'm looking for in that moment, I immediately will never show you vulnerability again. So I will say there are some people that I'm able to be vulnerable with, talk freely with, be open with, and things just didn't work out with me and that person or me and those people.
Okay.
Cool. But most of the time, you know, when I try to, what I'll try to do is, and y'all can tell me, because you're telling me right now by myself that I'm kind of wrong, but I'll throw out a little tester of vulnerability and put myself out there a little bit, put my neck on the line, extend the olive branch. And if I'm not met with the same energy, like you say, you come in with the same energy, then I immediately just kind of put it off in its own little category. Like, okay, that's how we doing it.
Right.
And I'll put you over here in a box.
So I didn't know that until you just said that. But I mean, it's been my experience where, especially with Black women, and I'm not saying like, so don't, you know.
No, we doing it.
No, but but don't get all Black girl magic on me, like, you know, what you mean Black women? What you mean sisters? I mean, like, I'm just saying, especially with Black women that I've dealt with in the past, it's like, well, you know, this is who I am. I'm a strong Black woman, and I witnessed my mom raise 3 kids by herself, and she worked 5 jobs and whatever. And this is just who I am. You gonna have to deal with it.
Angela Davis.
That has not been my experience. My own, huh?
I said that was, if any woman is telling you all of that, tell her, come on, Angela Davis. That's not what I asked for.
But I'm trying to tell you, they don't say it the way that I just said it, and they don't say it all together, but that's what ends up unfolding. Like, because, okay, suppose I wasn't raised on survival. I was raised on love, okay? I grew up with a 2-parent household, all of that, white picket fence, government jobs, all of that shit. So, so a lot of times in relationships, you know, I find people who have not had that, and they like, want to make you fight for different stuff, and they want to do this and do that. And I wear my fucking heart on my sleeve. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of nigga, I might fall in love with you on the second date. I'm not going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But I might tell you that. Who knows? Like, I'm a lover, not a fighter, and I'll be the first one to motherfucking tell you. But, you know what I'm saying? I meet a lot of Black women who can't.
Hold on, time out. I just got to chime in. I totally relate to that. I definitely fall in love on the second date, and I definitely never tell nobody that I'm in love.
Yeah.
I won't never tell you after 2 weeks of knowing you that I think I'm in love with your ass. But I most likely, if we've been going for 2 weeks strong, I already love you.
Right. Okay.
There you go. That out. Okay.
There you go. So it's not, like I said, not just Black women, just women in general. Sometimes will be like, well, you know, I'm strong and I'm this and I'm that, and they'll like try to make you, you know, you gotta goddamn climb to the top of Mount Olympus and then jump through a flaming hoop, and then you gotta rescue her heart out of a fucking shark's mouth and shit like that. And for me, it's just like, you doing all of this to prove what? Like, what is this? What is all of this for? I can't sit here and go through and deal with all of this. Not that I can't. I could, but it's just like,
sometimes
I don't know. I don't want to have to work that hard for it. And I feel like if you have to work that hard for it, I don't want to be fleeced.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. What are you trying to say, Tony?
I'm agreeing with him. I'm saying like it's like the complex of women like overly independent, so independent that you make it seem like a man. You don't need a man.
You don't have any room for masculine energy. You don't have no room for a man to be able to like slip in there or whatever. It's a turnoff for me. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel like there's a place, and I know that there's a place because I don't give a fuck how strong you is, bitch. The winter gets cold. You know what I'm saying? The nights get cold and lonely. Point blank. Period.
It's cold in May right now.
And I mean, to take the question originally seriously, I think for me that was the complex that I gave off a lot of the time. you can just fuck it, I'll do it myself mentality, because that's the mentality I was raised on, that mentality, because that's the mom that I did see. However, going through my own healing process, because when we were children, we're just given things. We didn't really have an idea of who we were, what we aligned with, you know, things of that nature. Our parents gave us what they aligned with, and thus that was their teaching, right? I told a friend the other day that emotional intelligence with men was very rare, because your parent, as a man, it seems to me, a lot of men have told me, sometimes your parents don't raise you with that type of emotional intelligence. They just raise you with trying to, and Stevie, you know this better than I, just be a man, you know, type of mentality. It's a lot of young Black men out here that have been raised that are trying to break down what they thought to be true and build what they believe, you know. And I feel like for me, I was raised that way. I was very headstrong. Also, I'm a fighter. I've been fighting my whole life. I like to fight. I don't like to fight. Let me take that back. I will fight. Let's be clear. I don't like to, but if you're bringing the shit to the table, I'm going to clean it off. Let's be clear. We're going to get that the fuck out of the way, and I will stand up and fight my ground. And I think that hindered me a lot. So I'm kind of going through my own like relearning process of who I am and how I deal with things. And I think that in turn has helped me with whatever relationships that I have gone through since that. It's only been one, but
I didn't get to answer the last one.
Okay, go ahead.
I am single because last weekend my relationship ended because of some decisions that I made that were less than honorable.
It just ended last weekend?
Yeah, I was in a relationship yeah. I did have I had a warm quarantine too.
Okay, how long was you in a relationship?
How long was I in a relationship? We were official since January, but prior to that, we had been dealing with each other since November. She came with me on my 30th birthday to Mexico, like it was a whole like situation. You know
I love it.
She held me down. She definitely wrote for me, but I definitely fucked up. Like I definitely fucked up. And it was definitely my fault, but she wasn't even trying to like break up. Little did I know. I didn't know she wasn't trying to break up, but like when we were going through like everything, like I just assumed that she wasn't trying to be with me. So in my mind, I was like, maybe I don't need to be in a relationship because of the decisions that I made and shit like that. So like that was my conversation with her. I was like, well, I just don't need to be in a relationship right now. Right. So she was like, okay, well, you made up my mind for me. That's not what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? We might have could have worked through this or whatever the case was, right. Which I thought was really nice, but goes back to the first thing, which is why women expected to deal with bullshit. Because had she been like my sister or my mother or my aunt or somebody, my best friend, I would have been like, leave that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she wasn't. She was my girl, so I was just assuming that that's what was going to happen or whatever. But you know, I do need to be alone for a little while to kind of get my thoughts together and get my shit together. Not even gonna lie to you, but yeah.
I think all do that, but my question was, why are you single without blaming the opposite sex?
It's not her fault. It's my fault. I cheated. It's 100% my fault. She didn't know shit about it.
But do you think that that's a habit for you?
No,
to
it's
be
not.
A cheater?
I'm faithful and Black. That's the thing about it, right? Like, I mean, you know me in real life and like on Facebook and stuff.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like I'm like faithful and Black. I've never done that before. Like I'm a huge like proponent of, you know, Black love.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, being faithful and all the other shit. It happened so fast. It was internet.
So is this too personal to ask? Was it a Black girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you cheat?
Yeah, why did you cheat on this?
It wasn't intentional.
Queen.
Huh? It wasn't intentional. She's a beautiful Black queen. It wasn't intentional. It happened so goddamn fast. It was ridiculous. And it's like,
your dick fell on her ass. What was it?
So no, it wasn't even physical. It wasn't physical cheating. It was like, it was electronic, like internet shit.
Oh, how you get caught? The internet is a sneaky bitch. I don't fuck with her. She don't never got nobody back. She ain't team nobody. Fuck that bitch, the internet.
Yeah.
First of all, the internet will tell all your little dirty ass secrets, so don't even listen. What I tell y'all early on, nigga, with no social media.
Yeah, so, you know, that's the reason why I'm single right now. If I'm even, it's kind of like a situationship. I mean, I guess technically I'm single, but like, we're still, having conversations.
Communicate. That's like your friend.
And we still love each other and all of that. She's a very beautiful, a great girl. It was definitely my fault. I take 100% responsibility. I would never try to like put that on her or like, blame anything on her.
So let me ask, when a man does,
and it definitely wasn't even worth it. That's the thing about it. It wasn't even physical. I didn't get a fucking nut out of it. Definitely wasn't worth it.
Let's talk about
Steven.
But I want to know, like, damn, what do you do when you love someone and you done fucked up? What would make a man go and do that? Why don't you break that down?
It's not us though. I think that's the issue. Like, a lot of people view that as
correct.
The issue of the other person, one party cheating on another. Because to call a spade for a spade, women have cheated on men too, and so you have to think of it in both terms, right? Because the question is, without blaming the other party, the party is an exclamation mark. It could be a woman or a man. So I think that that's the onus of that action is on the party that did the action, not the party that, was unaware. And I feel like a lot of the time, us as people, myself included at times, was, back in the day, myself included, was, what did I do to make him do that? Or why did he do that to me? It was all about myself, because of course the feelings of that happening is it's great. You know what I'm saying? It's very large. You feel very strongly when that happens. So I think a lot of the times us as people kind of want to rationalize it as, what did I do? Kind of in a way that's kind of like, oh, maybe I can change that in the future. When in actuality, anytime there's a place of, and this is something I'm still learning, but anytime there's a place of uncertainty or discernment or despondence, or just kind of backing up, that's more so on the person that isn't really readily available around or doing the action than the person who the action is being done to. So I think a lot of the time, the question is, what are they going through to make them feel this way?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they going through to make them do this action? Because you already know who the person is, right, Stevie? Like, you know that person and that woman knows you, right? So y'all know each other deep down. But when there's any type of despondency or, there's a separation, it's just like, what is the person going through that they're not saying or they're not letting me know about, so that we can communicate on the issues and maybe so that this doesn't happen. So I think the onus is on the person that's cheating, whether it be a man or a woman. The onus is on that person. Because I know a lot of men who've been cheated on, and
not even just
really hurt, for them. So not to say that it doesn't hurt for women, but like, I think men are prone to just not showing a lot of emotion. So when they do, and just like you said, I'll show you a little bit, but if you don't respond well, I'm going to take it away. When they show that, emotion, and a woman does them like that, they take it away. So, I think the question is what's going on with them, not what's going on with you, because ain't nothing going on with you. You're fine.
And I think to anybody that's listening that might be younger, because I'm 31, and it took me a long time to figure out a lot of what other people do to you isn't because of you. And it really is an eye-opener when you stop taking everything personal and you think about times that maybe you might have fucked up something. And you're like, damn, I didn't fuck nothing up because of you. I'm so sorry, but it's something that I'm going through. And so you got to think about that with friends, family, relationships. It all kind of ties in as one. Like, your friends put you in the same type of, hold you at the same type of like standards almost as it's still a relationship. It's just not a sexual. Yeah, it's just not sexual with friends sometimes. Hello. But when it's like, let's say your homegirl and you or whatever the case, it's like, if something happened or somebody says or does something, it might not be because of you or personal to you. It could just be a projection. People project fear and all kinds of things onto other people. So I think that's an important part of this whole situation is knowing that whether you the cheater or the person getting cheated on, you know, there is an underlying issue there that might not be related to that person that you're dealing with.
Right. And it's a communication break. Like, I think ultimately anytime those type of decisions are made or actions happen, I feel like it's a communication break somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And the onus isn't on any person when it comes to communication, because, you know what I'm saying, both should be trying to communicate effectively. But they should be trying to communicate to listen to understand versus to just respond.
Exactly.
Not a lot of the times in conversations, which eventually most of the time lead to arguments, people are listening to respond, or they're not listening at all. You see that in cases when there are fights and arguments where people are not listening at all. But you know what I'm saying? Listening to understand someone and to comprehend what they're saying to you is a whole lot different. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a very important when it comes to communication, because without that factor, communication is a mute point because it's not happening.
Yeah, communication without, you know, the understanding that there's going to need to be some changes made with that communication, or understanding shit. I mean, everybody is selfish. So it just gets to a point where in a relationship, are you going to put someone else as a priority equal to, you know? I mean, I feel like a good relationship, that partner of yours should be equal priority to you as what you have going on. Their things and it should be equal. Yes, you take care of yourself, but in a real partnership, it's like, yo, like, their busy, hectic schedule and their state of mind and their mental health is just as important.
I agree. I think that I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, that's what relationships are about, you know, putting the other person first. That's what they say. Love is, that's what they say, you know. Marriage is, that's what, you know, basically making decisions with the other person in mind before yourself. To a certain level and degree of selflessness that's supposed to be taking place and transpiring.
Is that real, or do you think that people just say that?
I think it's real for some people. I definitely think it's real for some people. That's what, I mean, it's, you know, a certain school of thought that thinks that, like, it doesn't necessarily mean, being in love with someone doesn't mean that I have to say your name 50 times more than I say mine in the day. You know what I'm saying? I can be in love with you and have your best interest at heart and support you and care for you and all that other shit, and still, you know, pursue the things that I want to do. And
right. So like love languages is really important too. Then.
Yeah, 100%. 100% love language.
Do you guys know your love language?
Yes, I do.
I have a couple.
I do as well. I have one too.
I like people to buy y'all gifts. Y'all seem bougie like that. Y'all like gifts.
I don't give a damn about gifts.
That's actually the dead last on my love language.
It's the dead last on mine too. I don't give a fuck about gifts. I buy all my own gifts.
Period. I would rather buy my own gifts because you're probably not gonna buy the things that I want.
Facts. Oh my god, I just said that. I'm like, if you ever trying to buy me a gift, you don't know what I want. I ain't said nothing. Go find my sister. She will tell you exactly. My sister and my cousin, Kiera and Tierra, ghetto, right? Yes. Kiera and Tierra, they will tell you exactly what it is I want, because they really kind of know me to my core. Those are my sisters. So
find me a gift card or cash.
And I'll figure it out.
That's a better bet.
I'll take that, because I will buy my own shit. I'm going to buy my own shit regardless. Let's be clear. I'm gonna just hope that you reimburse me for them bitches. But that's facts. Like,
so what's your first love language? Physical touch is mine, and then words of affirmation is my second.
Words of affirmation is my like top joint.
I need to hear it.
Mine is quality time, because the time is very important to me, because it is so short. Time is so short. That is what you have the least of, and you're not even aware to comprehend the fact that you don't have a lot of time. So when someone gives you their time, I feel like not only are they saying that they feel strongly about you, but they're saying that you are important to them, because they're willing to give you those precious moments. So quality time is my first. Then my second is words of affirmation, because I feel like in any of my ventures, whether it be my makeup, my actual, you know what I'm saying, my career, my IT career, or just shit I'm trying, you know what I'm saying, or family, I feel like you should be able to lift me up and push me forward to where I need to be, to help me push myself forward to where I need to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to push myself forward regardless, but I definitely need somebody helping me and guiding me through it. With that idea should come from a loving nature of wanting me to see and wanting me to do better for myself. So
yes, okay. And you said words of affirmation.
So, acts of service is one, and then the next one is words of affirmation.
Acts of service, like, you know, like what would a shorty do for you?
Do nice things.
What do shorties do for niggas as acts of service? I would love to know that.
I love when a woman cooks for me, which is
cook.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds so basic, right? Like, okay, just cook.
No, food. Come on now, Shay.
All right, I'm learning.
It doesn't
I'm trying to find
basic.
me a nigga. Tony trying to teach me how to cook a little something.
Yes, baby.
I made me some broccoli. Shit was lit.
Okay.
Yes, give us some healing.
Okay.
Food is the way to a man's heart, honey. You got to be
genuinely, it really, really is. Especially like a good meal. It's almost. I mean, it's definitely impressive, but it's almost like, okay, it's a wife. Like,
I know that's
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a wife. Like,
feed you and the kids, honey. Come on, everyone, sit down. Dinner's ready.
Yes, pans will get you bands at my house.
You. That is the first thing I do is cook for people. That's why, like, Shay, every time you come to my house, like, oh, like, if I really care about them, like, oh my God, I'm gonna cook some food, we can eat or whatever, and drink. I love to entertain people that I love and care about. And, you know, I love to entertain just people and make sure everybody has that good time, like that good barbecue, about to play spades, get my drink together type of time. You know what I'm saying? So
taking a little.
I think that's.
Okay.
So I think that's it, man. What about you? What's your thing? What do you do, Shaq?
Okay, I personally like to do acts of service. I'm not a great cook, but as Angela Yee says, as she's on the go all the time, I will order you a mean ass Uber Eats, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I take care of you. I'm learning to cook though. And not that I can't cook. I have my go-to little breakfast joint. I got a couple dinners that has always been go-to that's mediocre. It wasn't just, no love was really put into it. It's just, I know how to feed myself type shit. But I do want to take care, like learn to care about the food that I cook. Tony, you do inspire me in that sense. You are a bit of a chef. I do like that about you.
That comes from, girl,
it is very maternal and wifely. I do agree with that.
It's because I grew up in a house with all of them damn people. There's so many fucking motherfuckers in that house. It was me, it was my sister, it was her kids, it was my brother. So, you know what I'm saying? I grew up with nothing less than 5 people in the house at a time, right? When my brother and sister weren't home and my sister didn't have her kids, it was me, my mom, and my cousin, Kier. That was our house. 3 of us, and that was it. So I learned it from, you know what I'm saying, being in that type of living situation. Also, let me be very clear about something. My brother and his fiance are chefs. My cousin owns her own catering business, Red Plated. We need catering needs.
So it's in your blood.
And my sister is a baker. She's also the only baker in my entire family. Henry and Colvin side, let's be clear. Nobody bakes. So that bitch bakes the best cookies. CB, if you like to smoke, you can find her there as well. She'll bake you those as well. They're delicious. Okay. If you don't, she will bake something for the kids to eat at the you know, for the schools and whatnot. Right. So yeah, this is something I've just watched it, and let me tell you, my mother Stephanie, she wasn't eating any of my food, not even the pasta salad, child. She was like, no, don't cook nothing. Just bring cups.
But I do feel that it's instilled in certain people. I think my daddy used to cook for us a lot. He had his own business, and
Love him.
yeah, he could just he cooked for us. So I wasn't put in that
Dad made some bomb ass steaks.
okay. And steak tacos, chicken tacos. I mean,
good,
I always thought I was going to end up with me a man that was going to cook for me because I like to clean. I like to decorate. I like to create. I like to do a lot of fun, cool things. I will plan us trips and vacations and all these things. I don't love cooking. I just don't love it. But I know that is, that's one of those things that I wanted to talk about like that. Like, do I got to be that girl to find me a nigga? Do I got to be somebody I'm not to find me somebody that loves me? God damn. I burn the chicken.
You don't have to do that. You don't, because my aunt Trina is just the cutest lady ever. Like, she's so cute. And I love her so much. She's so amazing. My aunt Trina did not cook for a very long time, for a really long time, right? My Uncle Bill, her husband, was the cook. He was the chef, right? She was a creator. She was a fixer. She made everything happen. You needed something in order.
Yeah,
you needed
work for other people.
You was having a problem. You called Trina because she is the fixer and she's going to get it done. Okay. So no, you don't have to be that to find your mate, because I love my uncle and my aunt together. I love it. And I love to see them interact. It's amazing. I just love their love because although they're no longer together, they love each other and it's genuine. So
well, I mean, just to kind of touch on what we were talking about, I definitely feel like I'm a giver. I do like to do that. I don't necessarily need acts of service in return, although a nigga that will hook your car up and get you oil changes and all that shit, that is really high on my list. But the highest is physical touch for me. That was my number one. And to me, that does kind of tie into quality time. Like, we're together, we're physically touching, but we could be in the house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're quarantining really nicely, right?
You quarantine real
okay,
nice.
You fucked it up.
Just quarantine real nice.
Okay, he fucked that shit up because I missed this. This quarantine could be a lot better had I had me some little warmth, on a regular that is dependable.
Quarantine bae. I'm gonna have me a little quarantine bae too. I like it.
I'm not mad at y'all for that. And that's exactly my point, is like, I think the physical touch, the quality time, that kind of goes hand in hand. But if we're quarantining and it's 2 weeks and we ain't like cuddled up all the time, like, I'm a cuddler. I mean, my feet got to touch your feet at all times.
Now, okay. Pause there.
It's too much.
Question.
I mean, if they're not done, my feet will not.
It ain't about the feet. It's just about
the feet. Me, I don't like no feet.
Even in the quarantine, I don't want to be smothered too much. I'm a Sagittarius. I need my space.
I don't know what physical touch was my number one.
No, yeah. Physical touch is important to me. It's not number one, baby.
It is not the number one.
It might be 4 or 5 for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I want to touch you and everything like that, but like, I can cuddle with you for a good 5-10 minutes. Then I'm hot. Like, get off me. Like,
but look, that's what I'm saying. My feet gotta touch your feet, but I don't have to be on you.
Yeah.
But like, I need to just touch you a little bit.
But I don't see. Then I feel like you follow me around the house. I feel like you're doing something like that.
No. I mean, like, I think in a house with a couple, you should spend at minimum 4, 5, 6 hours apart during the day. Like, if you're in. I don't want to spend every waking moment. When we are together, I want to touch you. I want to be able to be away from you and walk back and just make out with your ass.
But that's the thing. That's where we're at. We're in quarantine. We're 6 to 7 hours away from your mate while you live with them in quarantine. Is not happening.
Yes, it is. You go downstairs.
I'm going for 6 hours.
Downstairs.
But let's say you live in an apartment. There's no downstairs.
I'll buy my nigga a PS5.
Yeah, you live in an apartment. Where are you going for 6 hours? When you live in a house, it is a little bit different.
By dividers.
I agree. I think I think space is important. Space to allow your mate to continue to be the individual they were before they met you is very important.
Yes.
I think in my personal experiences, where personal touch and time lacked was when there became a lot of despondency between two individuals. You know what I'm saying? Not being with each other and not speaking to each other is different. That's entirely different. So, I mean, I think physical touch for me is important, but I just want to hear from you. I just want to maybe chat.
Words of affirmation was my number 2. And so I do think that speaking, communicating, talking, and speaking life into one another, not speaking negative. I've been in a very poor relationship before. Yeah. I know how impactful it is when somebody's not lifting you up that you really genuinely love. And even if they genuinely love you, they can be fucked up. You know, you don't let nobody not speak to you right. And that's very important to me, is how we speak to each other, affirming, you know, where we are with one another. Now, I don't need it all the time, but there are certain things that we can say to one another that kind of just solidify that we're on the same page. And I think a little frequent check-in that we are on the same page is not the worst thing to do. You know,
that's not the worst thing at all.
Yeah, like, it's good to know, like, you know, that's why I say ask questions. Ask, you know what I mean? Like, is there something more that you want in this area, that area? You know, communication, because that's when there's a lack of communication, that's when you get out that door.
Right.
Wherever it is you're going to seek, whatever it is you're seeking that you're not getting. But, okay. I wanted to touch on music. We've been going for a little while. I wanted to touch on some of our...
Yeah, a party. Let's turn this shit into a party. I'm ready.
All right. First of all, Kevin Gates sex tape. Real quick, since we talk about music, Kevin Gates, the first thing that popped up on my list. Boy.
Bitch, let me tell you how that sex tape popped up on my Twitter timeline, and I was like, why the fuck y'all niggas put this on here? I do not want to see this bullshit. Bitch.
So how'd y'all feel about it?
Kevin.
I mean, he was stroking. Let me be clear. He was stroking, but it just wasn't enthusiastic.
I didn't see no stroking. I didn't see no enthusiasm. I didn't see nothing that I liked, except for the one. It was like literally a half a second. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit that. He started going crazy, and then he stopped to record. It's like, nigga, if you're gonna record instead of fuck, then just put the camera down. If you can't go top the ass, my nigga. The fuck?
My plan will be Teddy Riley. Have your shit together.
Right. Don't be looking in the background, checking to see who's gonna hear to help, nigga. Put the stroke down. He got a song called D.U. Down. I was looking to see that in a sex tape.
I felt like the whole thing was cheap. I felt like the bed in the room, all of that shit was like, you in the fucking Motel 6? Like, what the fuck? What is
yes, cheap.
I felt the whole thing was cheap and poorly shot. I mean, you know,
obviously
I don't know.
From a phone.
Yeah, clearly, definitely from a phone, but I mean, I don't know if you meant to leak it out or whatever.
Was it from an Android? Like, what are we talking about?
From an Android. The one
the tape was a flip flop.
Right. I felt like
Navy brand.
It was a regular fucking show. I mean, you know, all the sex talk and shit like that he'd be talking, like you thought it would have been some, you know, you gonna think I ain't been this sex like
he was stroking, it just was looking whack. Like, and to be fair, I really only saw, like, it was a 13-minute clip. I think I maybe watched 5 seconds before I turned off.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
It very thoroughly.
13-minute clip?
Excuse me, 13-second clip. I only watched about 5 to 10.
I didn't watch the whole clip either. I don't think, but it couldn't have been anything different.
4 times first of all, they said it wasn't his
4 times interested.
They said it wasn't his wife Drika because she have a tattoo on her leg. So I was like, okay, maybe he's giving the side piece the regular, basic, non-exciting strokes, because that's exactly what we got for 13 seconds. And I watched the 13 seconds like 20 times, and I was so unimpressed.
But also, I think a lot of us wasn't fucking with it. I know from a lot of the, from my standpoint, it's because it wasn't his wife, and your wife did hold you down, and you continue to go in interviews and say you were so fucking faithful to her. you like would go in on it. And you know what I'm saying? She agreed and it was great. And then to see you with this, also be clear with this with no timestamp. We don't know when this happened. We just know that the video is out now, right? There's no timestamp. So I feel like to see you with this after all that you've said, whether it had been something that that happened recently or, you know, before, is like, nigga, this is just too whack. Like, not only is this whole situation, the stroke game and everything whack, but like, this bitch don't hold you, like, you've been in jail. Like, nigga, this is too whack. Like, nah, this isn't it.
Not
your PR team could have done so much more.
He's had videos talking about sucking toes, sucking farts out of asses, spitting in your mouth, slapping you.
That's what I'm saying. You do so much sex talking. It's like, that's basic. What I seen was basic sex. Like, that's the kind of dick that I'm giving out if I'm like, you know, we just fucking just because we just happen to be fucking again. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even, I probably didn't even really want to do it a whole lot that day. Like, I wasn't even really that horny. You know, you just here. I felt like I was supposed to fuck you, so I did. Like, that's the kind of shit that's like,
yeah.
That's the kind of shit that I felt like happened.
I honestly feel like if you gonna give out that kind of dick, just don't give it out. It was so unexciting.
Don't fucking tape it.
She loved it.
So unexciting.
You gonna give it out fine, but don't tape the shit.
The girl loved it.
Yeah, she was calling him. She said, "Yes, sir." I said,
"Nigga,
you have to give out more dick than that in a better manner than for me to call you sir." I don't even say sir.
You're not calling a nigga sir?
Oh my God, sir. It's like, you better be daddy dingling.
There's only one person I would call
sir. I'm not calling you sir. Fire your ass up, sir. Relax.
What do you call them? What do you call them?
I don't know. I'm gonna call them by their name, baby, babe, whatever. But if I call you sir, like say yes, sir, like in order, like aye, Captain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You better be one bad motherfucker right there. Okay. You obviously are.
Aye, Captain. Bitch.
Be
right.
Aye, Captain. Played on my time. Aye, Captain.
Daddy. Aye, Captain.
On her damn
aye, Captain. Penis. Whatever you say.
Captain. Yes.
I don't even know. Well, if it make you say aye, Captain, bitch, don't fuck the dick because that's not it. Don't do that.
Y'all ever see me sprung out like that? Just leave me alone. Walk away and don't ask questions. You know what time it is.
All right? Say less because I'm gonna mind my
over here. Don't even ask.
I'm gonna go to this baby shower and eat these meatballs. What the fuck? And whatever she doing is her problem.
Okay, this should be
meatballs is delicious. Huh. I don't give unsolicited advice. So let me tell you, I'm always my business.
You might as well say yes, massa. What the fuck?
What?
Yes,
see,
sir.
That's that shit about you not wanting to submit.
Yes.
Just call the nigga sir. The fuck? You're a millionaire. Call him sir. Period.
A million? Yeah, I'll call him a million. Sir. Sir.
That's why she said the shit.
Oh my God.
No, that's not it. That's it. No.
Okay, so are we gonna say sir to the nigga that's handing out mediocre, less than mediocre dick?
No!
But his pocket's fat.
Fuck no!
He's fat.
I don't give a fuck.
Fatter than we could ever imagine.
Drake can walk in this house and I would never call him sir. That nigga is going to be Jake, or you're actually probably going to be Aubrey, sir. Because your mama named you Aubrey, so I don't think I should.
I'm calling him Sir Aubrey.
Like he's been fucking knighted.
Aubrey, go in there.
It's right to the back.
Put them groceries at my front door in the kitchen, Aubrey. Thank you. That's because fuck that.
Please stop playing.
Aubrey will leave my house, and I will still have the same amount of money that Aubrey had when he walked in at it. So fuck it.
Perhaps, but if you was calling him sir, and you was giving it up, you might have a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
one, I gotta call him sir, and I have to give it up.
And you gonna want to? I don't give a fuck. If I got some kind of bread, please, I don't give a fuck. Absolutely not. And if I have to tell you to call me sir, it's a wrap. If I got that kind of bread, it's a wrap. I don't even need to tell you that. You should already know.
But you want to be called sir.
I walk in here and I'm calling sir.
I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm not saying that's what I want.
I'm
just saying
to
in
say
general.
sir. If this nigga specifically, you have to specifically ask for sir.
It's only going to be two people that walk through my door,
Respect me.
and I'm going to call sir.
Respect me.
No,
look, I be respecting men's, but I'm not going to disrespect me to respect you, sir.
Disrespect you? How is disrespectful? You call somebody sir, that takes away. Respect is not pie. It's not like you
It's less pride for me.
That's that shit. See, I don't know what. Less pride. Call the nigga sir.
If he got enough,
definitely call him sir. The fuck? Call me sir.
I'm calling him sir if I'm trying to be a fucking sir.
You call me ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah!
Whatever you like. If the pockets sink that deep.
Whatever you want. I'm gonna call you ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So whatever you say.
Whatever you want.
Jesus, how deep are we flowing in these pockets? Because I don't know.
Listen, I call you ma'am.
I'm being honest. I am.
Doing this shit.
It's only two motherfuckers that's walking in this door, and I'm calling them sir. And that's Obama or Jesus. If you're not any of those two people,
You calling Jesus sir?
Maybe. I don't know if that's what he requests. I don't know.
Sir Christ, sir.
Sir, are you letting anybody up in there at this current moment in time?
Because Sir Jesus Christ, did you want some water? I don't know.
Sir Jesus, is there a cut line to heaven?
I'm not fucking with you. Not a cut line.
It's alkaline.
Zip line to heaven, sir. Put me on. Sir Jesus.
Cut line to heaven.
Hey, 80 instead of the regular $20 admission, and you is in here
and
20 minutes.
For all of our followers who are not Christian or Baptist, this can be Allah or whoever it is that you.
That's correct, Sir Allah.
No,
Sir Allah.
I'm
not fucking with you.
We're gonna edit that out, and
we can bleep it. We can bleepity bleep. Yeah. Okay, so all right, I guess
we didn't sell any bean pies this weekend. Don't worry.
I want to end it on a topic right here.
Can we talk about Doja Cat? What the fuck did Doja Cat do, bitch?
Didn't even know.
I'm so fucking big.
So people, hey. I tried to tell y'all, I knew she was taking white dick a long time ago.
Bitch, we got canceled. What the fuck did Doja Cat do? And does she really deserve to be canceled? It's the question.
Absolutely. Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I want to know.
Everybody tune in and turn it up for this tea.
Okay, well, hold on, bitch. Let me get my speaker.
Tune in, turn it up.
All right, I'm listening.
For the tea.
For the tea.
I get on. First of all, I think Doja Cat makes great music. She's a beautiful looking girl. We see this, she's mixed, right? We see that she has the physical skin and features of European and the body of a black person, African, Caribbean, whatever you want to call it. Her dad is a famous, I don't know where he's from, but he's a famous, like, I feel African singer or something like that. Anyways, he was not in her life, and he doesn't, I don't think that they have a relationship, and I think that she's publicly said that on several interviews. And long story short, over the years, she's been saying that she only dates white men. And that's not pushing it too far, okay? Everybody has a preference. So now recently, there have been tweets coming up, video footage of her on Tiny Chat with I'm not sure. I feel that it's some type of OnlyFans with video option. Not necessarily only sexual, but it gives you an opportunity to chat. Like, it looks like yeah, it was a big grid of people. So maybe 7 to 10 to 15 people. I'm not sure. But it was some black guys. It was one black guy saw a girl, Doja Cat, and this was recent, last week. Her on Tiny Chat. Okay. Not a while ago. Long story short, she's on Tiny Chat, and she herself says, "Suck my dick," and she says "nigga," but she says it with the hard er.
So, oh no, like a white woman, like a Karen.
She's coming across right now as if that she's like turned on and does this for fun. Talks to racist white men, and maybe she want her racist white man to call her a nigga during sex.
So
that's the vibe I get.
Before?
No God.
She what?
Has she done it before? Is this like the first time, or?
So they have her multiple different videos of her on Tiny Chat, but I'm not sure when they were. Somebody pulled up a video of her on live 6 days ago and her on Tiny Chat in the same outfit. So they're saying that was this 6 days ago. Just little shit that I've been seeing, but pretty much like the tweet was, "It's depressing to be black." That was a tweet from years ago that they pulled up. And
that's fair.
She has some self-hate with
what you say
being mixed. Go ahead.
Sometimes you gotta watch white men shooting these black men on the fucking TV all the time, and it's like you gotta live in this constant state of not even fear, but this constant state of like fight or flight mode as a black person, and it's like not fair. That can put certain people in the depressive state. I think it could put certain people who are not aware of where they align themselves, right? You're not aware of where you've decided to align yourself. You're not aware of where you fit in because opposite sides of the spectrum have told you haven't fit in, so you're still trying to figure it out. I think that decision, I'm not going to say all of her decisions. I think her tweet was basically her saying she's still confused. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's putting her in a state of mind where she's doesn't know what to choose, and she's scared and worried and whatever else, anxiety, and she's depressed. But I don't think that cancels that other shit that you said, because that other shit was a lot of shit. You can unpack that and not be your ass on Tiny Chat. Let's be clear. Okay?
Yeah, that's wild. That's enough to cancel a bitch. That's wild.
She's definitely
Tiny Chat shit, because I want to see why she even decided. Because at this point, I feel like Doja Cat's pretty big. She's not that bitch who said she was a cow. Like,
I don't think she realized that people were.
She's a figure at this point. So like,
she's a new figure though. That shit is brand new. That shit is brand fucking new.
Do new figures have PR teams? Are PR teams no longer a thing because everybody feel like they've been on Instagram?
Did I see her on live? They have a cell phone. She was sniffling, talking about fucking some nigga, and it was some white guy, of course, that she was talking about.
Because I thought she had a boyfriend.
It's a white guy. But like, look, I do feel as a mixed girl, you gotta kind of pick your side. I ain't even gonna hold you. She done picked her motherfucking side. You know what I'm saying? And it's sometimes how you feel comfortable. I grew up with mostly, I grew up with my dad's side, my mom's side, but I was much closer with my mother's side because she had me all the time and she took me with her every motherfucking where. And, we went to the Christmas parties, the family reunions, the everything. My daddy was in and out. He do what he want to do. So if he took me somewhere, it wouldn't be every year consistent. I'm just saying that even with that, I pick my side though, because of how society gonna view. And I feel society gonna view a mixed girl as a black girl regardless. And Doja has the opportunity as a mixed girl to kind of represent a little bit better. It's cool to date white men if that's what you do. I would never. But it's cool to date white men if that's what you do.
How would you do?
I would never. Because I just feel that white men don't fuck with it like they say they fuck with it. I mean, there might be one or two that genuinely like black women, but most of the time I think it's some fetishy weird shit, and I'm not with it. Okay?
Oh my God, I felt that way. I've always felt that way. Like, a white man wants to date me off of some black girl, big titty, big ass fetish he's seen passed down to him in fucking.
I'm not sure, and I don't even want to say that's true.
KKK shit his white family gave him, and I'm just not with it. Like,
I'm just
don't get wrong. I have white friends that I love and I adore, and their families, and they would never. But I don't know you as a man, and that's just what I'm not interested in your fetishes. You know what I'm saying? If you don't ever feel like you can take me home to your mom and your grandmother and behind the four walls of your home, and when I'm not around, they won't call me a nigger. If you can guarantee that a motherfucking Snapple cat fat bitch, okay. But if your granny has ever, or your mother has ever, and that bitch slip up and call me, I'm gonna beat their ass. And that's going to be.
I can say, Tony, that me being mixed, that my mom's mom went through Alzheimer's for 10 years, and she definitely slipped into her childhood. That's what Alzheimer's do. It recess you back all the way to how you grew up. There's some things that age plays a factor. You know, what you grew up like. Not saying that you got to be forever ignorant, but I do think that, you know, like an older Black person is not too much different from an older white person as far as how they're stuck in their ways and how there's not much teaching you can do there. But with Doja, I just feel that, you know, she had an opportunity. I do think there's some self-hate somewhere in there mixed in. I'm not really sure what's real, what's recent, how she really feels, but there should definitely be a PR team. You know, she was on live sniffling and shit. I just feel like shorty, you know, she kind of all over the place, and that's cool these days to kind of be on drugs and be fucked up and be all weird and troll. She been trolling a long time for the younger generation, not saying for necessarily our age group.
Right, but I think there's a certain amount to trolling. Like, there's appreciative trolling, and y'all about to get me together for saying this, but this is fact. Lil Nas X, that's a troll. Boom. We already know he trolling niggas left and right. Just because it's like, even if I say that I'm not doing it, you're gonna tell me I'm doing it anyway. But then you have the trolling level of like 6ix9ine, right? 6ix9ine's troll level is on a different fucking vicinity. It's like the nigga, all he do is read the fucking Shade Room every day. And it's just like, he be so fucking on it. And I mean, I guess when you fresh out, you can't go nowhere. That's all you doing. But he's always been that way. From when he wasn't in and it was videos and shit like that. His level of trolling is so impeccable. It's ridiculous. And so I just think that I don't really feel like that's what you're referring to was trolling earlier. I don't feel like Doja's trolling. I feel like, you know, that's who she is. And maybe she got to a point where she thought nobody
that she get a reaction off that body that is shaped like a Black girl. She know that.
Definitely.
She know that. And she know that she get perks off of being mixed. You know, there's no regular white girl.
Bitch, I'm a cow. Nigga, white people was not fucking with bitch, I'm a cow. The market of people who was really
white people just start fucking with it
in the 313 era was fucking with Doja because, you know what I'm saying, Azalea went ghost. So the next weird, pretty Black girl they can see is Doja, and thus comes bitch, I'm a cow.
No, but look, Azalea did that to herself, and
Azalea did. Let's be clear. I'm not taking no credit I'm not giving her no slack. Azalea, this is nothing to say that Azalea did not do that shit to herself. This is only to say that Azalea is a great artist who makes great music for weird Black women. And when she became ghost, Doja
Black women.
Yes. Okay, unFEMiliar. Talk about it.
I'm just saying, you cannot take her accolades. The woman is an artist, and that is what she will always be. But she also is weird as fuck.
Doja is an amazing, weird-ass artist, too. I want to say that. I want to say I've been rocking with Doja and her music, but something in me, I never post about Doja. I don't stand over her either because just something in me just knew that you fuck white man way too much. Just gonna leave it at that's too much. That's too much. You could dabble in it.
White dick.
Too much white dick got your mind fucked up, honey. Because you, I don't know.
So sick.
That outside dick keep them hoes sick. Like, oh.
Hey.
You know what? We're gonna have to end it. It's after midnight here where we at.
It is. We're going to have to pause this for the cause, honey. Come on back for the next show. We will continue.
Yeah, we continuing. All right. And we had Stevie T here with us.
All right. You are amazing.
Give him some of them pecs. Give him some of them pecs. Okay.
See a little bit. Hey.
Give him a little bit.
Come on, Pat.
All I need is a little bit. All right. We're going to tune it. We're going to tune it out. Tone it down. All right.
What?
I don't know. What we going to do? We're going to tap out.
Thank you for rocking with us. We fuck with y'all. I hope y'all fuck with us. It's our first show, but come on the fuck back, bitch, because it's finna be lit.
And you heard it here first. Fun. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I love you all. Namaste, my niggas. It's the Unfamiliar Podcast.
Stevie T.
Namaste, my niggas.
It's Stevie T on Instagram.
Yes.
It's Stevie T on Twitter.
Get that motherfucking plug.
It's Stevie T on. Well, it's me, Stevie T, on Cash App.
Cash App with $1 at.
It's me, Stevie T, on Twitter. It's me, Stevie
Follow Stevie T on Twitter. He was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have met you. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. You're amazing as well.
Hell
You're
yeah.
a good time.
I love you both, and we'll be back.
Anytime y'all want, I'm in.
I am familiar.